It could be worse. So we get a new character in this Final Fantasy 14 event, and that's cool. See, it looks like he has Combat 4, Support 5, Machinist 5, like that. There will be times in which you do not want to use Minfilia. Machinist is nice. Machinist is a nice ability pool, and now especially so now that we know the Spark Offer and the Cold Offer abilities are getting better. Dagger, sword, and use swords, that's good. Hammer, gun, hat. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. That's a high attack for a support at level 99, I believe. Let's go check it out. Sort out a little list by support 5. Okay. We got, Tyro leading the pack at 131. Thanks, dude. You're great. 181, Gordon. Ferris at the 187, one of the higher ones. Shelk 206 leading the entire pack. Tied with Ramza. And then in second place is Sid. So he's got a high attack. Tied with Miliadul for supports and high attacks. You know, whatever that's worth to you. At least, I guess it is important to know that it doesn't pay as much of a tax for being a support, just like Ramza and Shelk. Record Materia sucks. Sucks and sucks. Great. New Legend Spheres. Ida. Ida means we have new Legend Materia. Small fire damage. We'll just look at this on this list. We have Ida, who gets 10% increased fire damage and 35% chance to dual cast monk abilities. That's pretty cool. Always love this one. 25% chance to grant stone skin 30% to the user after using a monk ability. That is pretty cool. Sort of. God, is that status a double-edged sword? It really is just meant to be used with her BSB. However, I don't really consider Ida to be a character worth using. Unless you have her USB, and then you're in good hands. But her BSB isn't bad with this. So if you do get it, I believe this comes on the second banner, and you do have Ida's BSB, then you could actually get somewhere with that, where otherwise her BSB is just real crap. It's real crap. But we'll get to that when we look at the banners, because I believe that it shows up there. Next up, we have Papalymo. Magic, 35% chance to dual cast fire abilities, which is really nice. Really disgusting on Papalymo, since he has one of those 6-hit burst commands. We just did find out that the 5-star and 6-star abilities in Japan are getting buffed greatly in an effort to correct the mistake that they made with bursts. Bursts and the power of bursts has been so high for so long that they became an issue for game balance and power creep, because it just, once you had certain bursts, it was hard to even make a case for getting a lot of the newer stuff. And I bring this up here because Papalymo's burst is one of those bursts that doesn't even care about the new rebalance, because he does a 6-hit fire command that he can dual cast with his Legend Materia. Papalymo laughs at the new abilities. He just laughs, like a potato does. He just laughs. And grants attached fire is fine. But really, this is his obvious strength, is his LM2. This is okay if you want to start out the fight. Instead of using Mako Might or something, You could exploit a weakness with Chain Faraga, and you'd get some strong Chain Faragas, and then you'd be able to get the 80% damage boost from Attached Fire into his first burst. So, it is good. It is good. Next up, we have Minfilia. Increase holy damage by 10%. Yeah, sure. 30% chance to Mire and Pearl holy a target after using a Knight ability on an enemy. It's just not good because she is a support. And I suppose you can use Knight abilities on her. It's just a kind of a confused and non-optimal way to play her. Her burst has support commands, so it doesn't work with that. So really, you're looking to use Knight abilities with her USB if you want to use this. The problem with that is she's just much better played as a support because of the way her character is built. So that's it's just confused. It can be effective in certain situations, just yeah, not a big fan of it. Because those are her LM1 and LM2, I would likely never use 5-star motes on Minfilia. However, her LMR increases the duration of stat buffs by 30%. This is good if you have her USB. And we will get to that in a second. That was the Legend Materia that we're seeing here. Ida, Papalymo, Minfilia. Yeah. So let's go take a look at the banners. It's up the top. So, you probably heard a lot about this banner. Because of what headlines it. Nirvana Zeta. Is basically the power of a Super Soul Break. But it's called a USB for some reason. Anyway, it gives Party Shield 1. What it means by Shield is the new status that was released for the first time with Sephiroth's Burst Soul Break today. It's just a blink, just like Magical Blink or Physical Blink, except it can be used for either. That's all. So, you put up this status with her USB on the party, and it will use... If you get hit with a physical attack, it'll take it off. If you get hit with a magical attack, it would take it off. It's not one of each. It is only a single one, but that it could be either physical or magical. Next is high regen, which is fine. It's just not really a super desirable status, and that's it. So we got Party Shield and high regen to party, and then she gets Self Cast 1. This is embarrassingly bad. It's 10 mind. There are very, very few situations in which you would use this. Y'shtola is already a good healer, but not because of her burst, and certainly not because of her USB. It's because of the fact that she can wall, and she can Wrath with support 4. That is it. And that she has a passable BSB is a nice thing. And now she gets this, which is not passable at all. Means that if you have Y'shtola in the form that she came in on the last Final Fantasy 14 banner, with her BSB, wall, you already have Y'shtola at her premiere. You know? You don't need this. It is absolutely not a reason to pull on this banner. Or any banner. It's just awful. Next up, we have Excalibur Zeta, which is, I believe, a Holy Sword. Yeah, it is a 25%, or 20%, sorry, Holy Sword, which is actually a really good USB. Party attack, magic, and resistance, and haste. I believe, well, definitely as of the release of this, it will be the only tri buff that gives haste. And it's a hybrid buff. That's attack and magic tri buff. And gives haste. So unlike it differs, I believe, in only the way from Ramza's USB is his is attack, magic, and defense, right? And Instacast 1 of the party. Each of these are going to be useful in different situations. If you already have a a form of haste, getting that instant cast 1 to party is incredibly good. But yeah, this is really good. This is fine. Don't let Ishtola's USB overshadow the fact that this is actually a good USB. Now we move into the 3 BSBs. We have Granado Shot for our new Sid character. 7 times, Area of Effect, Holy Non-Elemental, and Imperil Earth. This is a good start so far. Imperil Earth on a burst is something I don't believe we've seen yet. That's nice. But let's take a look at the commands. So we have some tomfoolery happen here, some Sid foolery. We have a one single target, Earth, non-elemental, range physical, self-reload up to 3 times. I want to look at the multiplier of this. It's pretty important. I don't have much Final Fantasy 14 music, so sorry. Guy gets one, I believe Superfest might come before the Final Fantasy 2, but whichever comes first, yes, Guy gets a Burst Soul Break for Imperil Earth, and it's very good. Imagine that, Guy gets something good. Okay, Sid, shoot and reload. We have a 2.06, which isn't bad. It may be a single attack, but at least it's Earth. And it's important because it's used in the second command. We have a higher multiplier here at 2.12, but it's not fixed. No, it is fixed. What you're doing here is kind of like what's happening with Balthier, but not as good. Still fine though. Is 4 single ranged at 0.53 each, with a progressing chance to cause a minor Imperil Earth with how many times that you've used shot and reload, which is the first command. So what this is to me, and why I think I was down on it at first, but I think I was colored by the fact that I saw Squall's BSB2, and the fact that though it has a 2-hit command, it is actually quite weak. At least this has a decent and good multiplier on it. So even though it's 1 hit, I think that's okay. I'm fine with that. So what you would do with this is you would use it and you get your Imperil off. And then you would use this 3 times. And then use this to get a 100% chance to inflict Minor Imperil. That means through the course of a single burst cycle, you could get 30% of Imperil. So that's kind of nice. And the first command, while being only 1 hit, it's fine. If you're using this as your Imperil stacker, you're okay with only getting 10,000 damage on your first command. So I think this is actually pretty good. Not as good as Guy's Imperil, but this is actually not bad. And I believe, now I can't verify this, but I think I heard something about the fact that the shot and reload stacks are similar to Raijin's in that they progress across bursts. So what you could do is use shot and reload 3 times, then use split shot once, and then use shot and reload once, and then the next time you cast your bursts, you already have 1 stack of shot and reload going. I can't verify that. I don't know it for sure, but I believe that's how it works. Since it does reset on cast. So you would need to restock up your shot and reloads. Anyway, moving on. This is a pretty good Imperil Earth burst. We all know Ishtola's BSB Asylum. It's dangerous, but very good. It just needs to be used correctly in order for it to be very good. Because that stone skin bubble is an issue. It's an issue because it reduces your damage output. It reduces your ability to do everything because the game it really does revolve around soul breaks now, and it will so even more in the future. However, I think this gets a little bit of buff. If you want to talk like real theory crafting, I would say that this gets a little bit of a buff in the future. Because since we will be getting a higher percentage of our soul break points from using abilities instead of being hit, because all 5-star and 6-star abilities, except for Life Siphon and Wrath, will have their soul break point generation increased. It means we're less dependent on getting hit to get off our soul breaks. So it may sound minor, but I feel like that's actually a big deal for the future of Asylum. And other Stone Skin 30% buffs. But anyway, it's a good healer burst on a good healer. She's got good Legend Materia too. But, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Oh, this sucks. Ida's Burst Soul Break is on this banner instead of the second banner? Yeah. Her USB and her LMR are on the second banner, which means this is grossly out of place. And what I said about it applies here. Where with her LMR, this could actually be a decent burst. It's actually just horrific. I've said that word a lot tonight. It's pretty bad by itself. Really, the value of getting this would be for the Relic itself, which is a plus 20% fire damage fist weapon. But the burst itself is pretty bad. At least not bad in Sid missions, but anytime you see this section of the banner, you want the stuff that you're getting to be valuable outside of the realm. And this can be valuable outside the realm. This can be valuable outside the realm. This can be valuable outside the realm. This can't be valuable anywhere. This can't be valuable anywhere, but we'll get to that in a second. But, yeah, this is bad. Unfortunate. So we have one really good if you have her wall, one just good, and one bad for the bursts. And next up, we move on to the Legend Materia, where Stola gets her LMR, which is medium chance to Asuna when casting a single target white magic healing ability on an ally, which sucks. It's a chance, and removing statuses needs to be reliable, and this is completely unreliable. This is for, oh hey, I just used Tetragrammaton on something, and oh wait, it's not useful at all because Tetragrammaton is instant. I was gonna say, you know, if you toss off a Kiraja and someone got afflicted with a status and the Kiraja happens to land on them during that time and cure the status, but if you're worried about statuses in the fight, you should be using Ultra Cure anyway. So I guess it's for if you want to spam Tetragrammaton and just hope that Asuna goes off on a status. This is actually just freaking terrible. Next up, we have Amphilia's small duration increase for stat debuffs cast by itself. This is a very good Legend Materia and works together very well with her USB. So Super Soul Breaks. Garland's Goggles. We have Super Soul Break, Random Fire, Imperil Fire. It's fine. He's a machinist, huh? Machinist 5, Support 5, Combat 5. Never mind. That's not good. I thought for a second that because he can use guns, that he would be a sharpshooter. Hold on. Does he get a sharpshooter buff? He needs to get a sharpshooter buff. He does not. So that's a bad super. Because if he was able to use Ruby Spike, then it would be a fine super. Then he could actually take advantage of the Imperil Fire. But since he cannot, then this sucks. Next up, Holy Shield from Amphilia. Party attack 50% and Last Stand. This is okay. It's not great. It's not great. I'll be honest. I haven't found much use of it ever since I got it. It's really more of a novelty. There is much better last stands in the game. I think when it first came out, it was one of the few sources that we could get last stand, and that would be great for the Nemesis fight that took place in the second anniversary. But since then, this has really fallen off the map because party attack 50%, especially since we just had the Cloud banner, with the Zax CSB, which is just a great source of attack 50%. And in a world where Shout exists, and in a world where Ramza's BSB2 will eventually exist, yeah, it's just not good. Yeah. I guess you could make a case for using this and her USB together with her small duration increase for stat buffs on her LMR. Yeah, I did say novelty, Mist. That's exactly what I was thinking of when I said that. Yeah, it was the first last stand, and that's why I remember it being a whole lot better than it is. Hey, at least the shield has Mire Holy Resist for, you know, how useful that is. Not at all. Next up, we have the Omni Rod. Ethereal Pulse, Party Protect, Shell, and Heavy Regen. This is... I wish this Super Soul Break never existed. I actually used this in Torment 250s. Because that's the super long hallway of trash before the boss. And it's great because Y'shtola can just Ace Striker and have a bunch of Soul Break to use. And since she has a massive Mind Pool, it makes these Protect and Shell and Heavy Regen last forever. But, God, if... I haven't gone to so many multiplayers where Y'shtolas, for some reason, think this is a valuable Soul Break to cast when they should be casting Wall instead. Oh my god, I wish it just didn't exist. Anyway, this is not really useful. But it is... It is something you will cast eventually at some point with your Y'shtola. I pretty much only cast it in Torment 250, so I don't know. I don't think that's worth taking up a spot on the banner. A 2% slot, no less. So, next up we have Thyrus. Wall. I think... No, it was before I started on the Final Fantasy 14 event preview. I was talking about the fact that we're getting 4-star moat dungeons at some point, which will allow us to farm 4-star moats. And in those 4-star moat dungeons, we do not get access to an RW. We're forced to use a custom RW of Dr. Mog. He's got a little sprite and everything. He casts Wall for us. So there's no need for you to bring Wall to those. And not only that, but the large part of the game that occurs, say a few months before that, will be the Magicite dungeons, which are in the same situation, where we are forced to use an RW of the game's choice, which is Wall, a longer-lasting Wall cast by Urara. They are doing their best to make Wall not as useful in the game anymore. At this point, I believe the only reason for you to go after Wall is just if you're sick of RWing it. Otherwise, it makes a fine RW. I'm not gonna tell you that it is not useful to have native. It is, but it is not chase. It is not chase worthy. It's not chase worthy. That's an issue sketch? I actually wanted to be Mega Flared. The more you get Mega Flare, the more your damage output. Because of, Radiant Shields. If he's Mega Flaring, that means he's not Kirajaing himself, and that's the asshole part. So, taking a look at the bottom half of the banner, we have a 1%er in Thyrus. So if this is your chase, it's a poor chase, because it's the same percentage to pull this as it is to pull this. Think about that for a second. And on our 2% slot, where you have a double % chance to pull these than anything else on the banner. All of it is bad. It's all bad. There's nothing good here. In our Legend Materia, we're 1 for 2. One is good and one is bad. Bursts. Really good burst if you have wall. But if you're pulling on this banner, you don't have wall. That's an issue. But not good by itself. It's just a healer burst. And that's it. There is so much better available. It is only good if you have wall. This is awful by itself. However, it is fire fist weapon. So that may be desirable to you. And if it is, then I don't blame you for being happy if you got it. I would be happy to get it personally. I've got a Refia that's dying for something like this. This, I believe, is a good burst. Not great. I think we just get a better option with Guy's Burst Soul Break in the future, which will appear on more desirable banners. It occurs for the first time in the Magicite Festival, which has the Ingus's Earth CSB and Locke's Fire CSB on it. So I think that's a better banner overall. I think the best relic on this entire banner is Minfilia's USB. I really like it. Getting a Heiska and attack and magic hybrid tri-buff is, I think, really powerful on a support. And it makes her really potent in a lot of Magicite teams. So, yeah, I think she's a good buffer with this. And Ishtola's really just hot garbage USB. So I really wouldn't recommend pulling on this banner to anybody. Next up, we have Ida's USB, which is actually not bad. And gets better, I believe. Next up. No, not next up. We're going to talk about this. 8 single target Earth Fire. I didn't know it was Earth. Grants her End Fire, so while it does do Earth damage, it's not going to do it nearly as well as the Fire. Self-cast Instant Monk 3. This is really good. And Physical Blink 3. That is also really good. So how could she use this to be effective? Well, at the moment, this is underpowered. I think this is one of the USBs that really, really benefits from the ability buff, since Fires Within, the 5-star Fire Monk ability, will get really good then. Because it has an increased multiplier, I believe, and increased amount of hits. But I think the main use of this is to combo it with the 4-star Monk ability that will be coming out. 5-star. Did I say 4-star? There we go. Burning Rush. 2.72 multiplier fire damage. And 4 single attacks with plus 20% crit chance. This is definitely made very, very well to go with Ida's BSB. So you just fire off 3 quick ones of these with End Fire, increased crit chance. It's just excellent. You could combo her USB with her BSB with an Entruster, and you might be able to get somewhere, but let me check her BSB and see how viable that is. Of course, the issue here being that her BSB is on the first banner. Forbidden Chakra. Does at least do fire damage. Full breakdown. Okay, so really an awful second command, but a good first command. I guess if you had both of these, you could get off an Entrust. And use her BSB and USB together, because that physical blink will protect her and allow her to use her Greased Lightning. Because without the Greased Lightning, this is really just a substandard BSB. But say you're able to protect yourself using those physical blinks. I think it's just physical blink, right? Yeah, then it could be good. But see, then it's only working against something that doesn't do any magical damage. It's still unreliable. I don't think I would want her USB, because I think it's good by itself, and I would want to pair it up with a 5-star monk ability, because I wouldn't want to worry about a finicky gimmick in pairing up Physical Blink 3 and her first burst command. So next up we have the Lilith Rod Zeta. Everything Zeta, huh? Which is RS small fire damage up. Sad face. It's just an OSB. Multiplier increases proportional to fire element abilities casted. That's fine. It'll probably exceed 40k. Or 40 times multiplier by the end of the fight. Which is when you would use the OSB. So that's fine. Next up we have Ironworks Magitex Daggers. Shifting Kiss of the Jugulator. What's the 10? Oh great, RS small bio damage up, because really you couldn't take the RS off and give us small bio damage up on a dagger, right? That would be too overpowered. You don't want those bio people running amok. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I figured it was something that I was unaware of because of Final Fantasy XIV. Alright, so the burst itself. Oh, absolutely Layla would. But she wouldn't be OP or anything, it would just be good. 0 cast time. Oh, I'd like to see that always. 8 single target, bio non-elemental, party blink. Uh-oh. I feel like that's not going to be worth it. Kiss of the Wasp. 2 times single target bio non-elemental physical with short cast time. Okay, we definitely need to look at the mechanics on this. Alright, so we got ninja cast time on these. 2 single attacks. So this is exactly like Squall's, except instead of Thancred giving himself N bio or N poison. Thank you very much for the follow. Thancred just gives physical blink to the party, so this is a really, really weak 1.0 multiplier on his first. So his second command really, really, really needs to take advantage of this for it to be any good at all. So 1.8 base multiplier because of 4 times 0.45 multiplier. Scaling with Kiss of the Wasp uses. So this really is almost exactly like Squall's. The problem here is no end poison. You can get it up to 8 attacks, which you can do fairly quickly because of the ninja cast time. The problem is you need to use... think of this for a second. You need to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 turns using a 1.0 multiplier attack before you can use this, and it resets. The usage resets, unlike Squall's. So this is the red-headed stepchild of Squall's BSB2. It grants party physical blink 1 instead of giving yourself end poison. Yeah, it's pretty garbage. I can't believe it resets. Like, why would you force people to use this more times? Because you're just making people look at a super weak attack just so they can have a high payoff. And, this is just such an unexciting piece of crap to use. Anyway, moving on. Thancred's BSB blows. Papalymo Lilith Rod is awesome. Star of the banner. Pretty friggin' old, but star of the banner. What is it? 6 months old now? Oh, Thancred's BSB 1, which is just awful. So, thanks, Thancred, for stinking up this banner. It's in Peril Fire, but the problem with it here is that it does 3 attacks instead of 4 for its first command. It'll do 6 as long as you're under the effects of Physical Blink. And in order to give yourself Physical Blink, you need to use the second command, which is a 2-time single target fire. And self-blink, yay! So you can give yourself blink and hope that it lasts until you cast this one. If it gets taken off while you're casting it, well, tough fucking luck. You're doing 3 attacks. You want to see the multiplier? Uh, 1.5. Ooh. Or 3.0 if you're hitting for 6 attacks. But 1.8 with the second command. So you're going to want to use the second commands most of the time. Because, I mean, good luck. Good luck doing any cap damage with this crap. Anyway, Thancred really just... They did not treat Thancred very well. Does he eventually get anything? This is killing me. He does get... No, he gets nothing. Whatever. So next we move to the Legend Materia. Papalymo, start battle with Empire. That's fine. I already talked to you about why. Ida, low chance to self-stone skin when using monk abilities. So this is good. It makes her BSB better. Both of these make or work fine with her BSB. Her BSB is not on this banner. This doesn't really work well with her USB at all. They're not meant to work together. Grant Stone Skin, it does nothing for this. 0. It makes her really protected with Stone Skin and Physical Blink 3. That just means she's not going to be generating a whole lot of Soulbreak gauge. Okay. Next up, we have Ley Lines. It's probably the second best relic on this banner. Third. Well, we'll say Papalymo's OSB is second. Ida's super. 4 times area of effect, earth, fire, physical, enemy defense resistance minus 50%, self-attack defense plus 30%. This is pretty good. It's better than anything Thancred brings to the banner, that's for sure. What's your 15? Small earth damage resistance, don't care. Papalymo. Enochian Blazasha. Random ice and ice. It's not bad. It's probably better than anything Thancred has. Eventually we are going to be getting 4-hit Chain Blazagas. So, like I said on the Cloud banner, a mage getting a Super Soul Break that gives himself an element of the element you're casting, and with the option of using an ability to combo with it, is actually not bad at all. And what the hell? Medica 2? Oh. So the supers on this banner are better than the bursts. Not counting Papalymo's World Ender Burst Soul Break. But anyway, good. No, it's good. It's good. It's fine. But you need his BSB for it to be fine. Obviously. Well, not really. God, you know, I guess I get to throw that away now. That line. I mean, I've said it so many times. I think OSBs can be just good as long as you have an element that can take advantage of it, which this can't. But so yeah, you probably want his burst. Because this is just fire, not elemental, right? Does he have it in fire? No, I don't think so. Swift cast fire? No, grants cast to be times 2 to the user. No, so yes, you do want his burst with this, but the N element super soul break combo with OSBs actually works a hell of a lot better than it used to because of the ability buff. So while it's not really that big of a thing now, I still I want to downplay it now. Knowing that abilities get buffed in the future means it's a lot better. So anyway, this banner stinks too. I don't know how I feel about it overall. I guess since the top end is both fine. God, just 2 friggin' bad bursts, and Papalymo's shining example of a mage burst. Both of the LMRs are good. At least that's something, right? No, wait a second. This isn't good at all. It's fine with her BSB. So if you have Ida's BSB, this banner becomes a lot better. Lewis, thank you very much for the follow. Or Luis. Yeah, this banner stinks. This event stinks. Any questions? Okay, I'll do that idea. Well, there should be a Final Fantasy XIV event being released sometime in the near future in Japan. Because we know that, we know that there's one coming. They've announced it. Please wait for Keeper Selection draw. Please don't break my heart and chase wall here. Since we don't have Legend Materia for Alphino, is he it? Alphino, Sid Garland. And that's it. I would expect us to be seeing a Heaven's Ward themed... Oh, okay. Adia has more information than I do. But anyway, Alphino is probably going to feature in the event because he has no Legend Materia at the moment. Alphino does have a USB in Japan, and it is very good. It premiered in the 30th Anniversary Festival, which should be 3.5 months from now, if they go according to schedule. So it's a ways off. It'd be cool to see Alpha USB show up in one of the banners. Yeah, it would be. Does it recur on the festival banners? No, it doesn't. Sorry. I know it doesn't. I know Alphino and Noctis have their USBs on the banner. I know Lightning's is also on the banner. Well, it may recur, because the only 2 new ones are Ida's too. So the only 2 new ones are Noctis and Alphino, which are both very good USBs. So this is going to be an event to look, or a banner to look for, at least in my opinion. I like both of them, and I like both what Noctis and Alphino have available to them. But the other 2 6 stars are Lightnings and Ida's. Sure, Adia. Okay. We can go over Elf's USB, yes. They have a 14 Lucky Pull for Heaven's Ward. Well, the 5 Mithril OSB pull is a single pull that we may still be getting. The 30th anniversary is an entire festival. Saying that we don't get 30th anniversary festival is like saying that we weren't going to get the summer festival. So Ida's USB, Memphilia's USB, Ishtola's USB. Ugh. Ida's BSB. Ugh. Memphilia's BSB. Eh. Ishtola's BSB. Good. Under conditions. Alphino's BSB. Good. Ida LMR. Memphilia LMR. Ishtola LMR. That spanner kind of blows. Nah, it's good. It's good. I'm thinking that it's not that good because I have these two. But it's not bad. Superfest is a mini fest, yeah. Well, I mean, look at the LMR. This is a bad LMR. This is a bad LMR. This is good. Super sucks, super sucks. Alphino and Ishtola are good. Memphilia and Ida, not good. And then good and great. It's really kind of... I mean, it's just it's a lucky draw, so first time half price, so that's nice. Definitely worth 25 Mithril, absolutely. No, I would say 2.5 months. My guess would be the end of September. But for full price draws, I don't think I'd touch this banner. This banner, however, oh my word. Of course, it's all subject to change because it's a festival banner. However, anytime I see these two together, I'm going to be happy about that. And headliners on the 4th banner will be Titus. And that's it. He's the only one. Titus USB is good. Shantoto USB, I like her CSB and BSB better. Von's USB is good, and so I'm not real thrilled about this banner. Top end is kind of iffy. Banner 3, we have Cloud USB. Zidane USB debuts here, I believe, which means that's good. Renoa's Chain does not, and Squall's does not. So I was originally down on this banner a little bit because Zidane's USB was hindered by the fact that there was no good way that he could take advantage of his X mode. But since the buff to the 5-star wind thief ability, Zidane's USB is actually really strong now, and this is a very good top end of the banner. If it appears like this. Squall's USB is not that good at all, but Squall's BSB2 is. Nothing new here. This is all old, but it's all really good. It's all really good. Rosa USB, Cecil USB, Bart's USB, and Terra USB. If this is the top of this banner, that's pretty spectacular. Hi, Bassa. When do you expect that we get these banners? In 3.5 months, at the end of October. When are we getting Crystal Tower? Probably November? November or December? Yes, Steph's BSB1 is actually useful for Magicite. There is some gigantic defensive statistics on the Magicite bosses. And he is the can opener. So yeah, banner 2, this is crazy. That's a hell of a top end. And we get Cecil's BSB2, Bart's BSB2. This is our first kind of iffy stinker. Celeste BSB2, obviously great. Mog BSB, great. Oh my god, Strago, great. Krill BSB is fine. Gogo's BSB, not that great by itself. However, it's a rare, very unique relic in that it's a plus water damage rod. Realms BSB, good. I know it's shown up a lot of banners so far, so there's probably a lot of dupes out there, but it is good. Yang's BSB is good, and Palam's BSB is good. There are, it's like the worst relic on this banner, Bart's BSB2, which isn't even bad. Because paired with his USB, it turns him into a water god. Whew. This banner is smoking. What do we got here? Furion USB. Furion is so weird. Needs to be used together with his BSB. Because he has no ability to use holy damage otherwise. So, yeah. You need his BSB and USB together for this to be good. Which is depressing. Bart's USB is in a month and a half. It's in August. Yes, Bart's, as of now, is the only one who gets a BSB3. It's a very good BSB3. Lunith USB is also a debut here, I believe. And I'd say this gets much better with the buffs to Sky High. Well, I guess it depends on the multiplier, but I'm imagining that they'll give Sky High a good multiplier to offset the fact that there is a 5-star Wind Dragoon ability now. They are not obligated, at least according to precedent, to put this on this banner for the 30th Anniversary Festival. But I think that there would be such a gigantic stink, and Cloud is such a draw, that I think it's insane to even suggest that this won't be in part of the festival. I mean, Bart's by himself is just pure insanity. Just like Edge and Shadow. But yeah, I mean, Celeste too. Add that to the soup and you've got some bang. But yeah, This is one of the reasons why the ability overhaul needed to happen. It was just mentioned in chat by Electron. Lightning Dive and Aerial Dive. This Aerial Dive, 5-star Dragoon wind ability, 4.52 multiplier, Sky High, 4.24.